Hey guys, in this video we're going to be converting these 5-volt 3-pin RGB fans into our 12-volt 4-pin motherboard using this tiny little RGB converter. Alright, let's get into it. Hey guys, Ravelency here from Starstrong Productions. I recently picked up these PC Cooler RGB fans for my computer. I'm going to be doing some upgrades this fall, so I wanted to start with some fans. I thought I was shopping for 4-pin power supply here for the fans itself, which it does have, and my motherboard does as well. So this actually just powers the motor of the fan, but what I really needed to be shopping for was the RGB header. So these fans require 5-volt 3-pin, and my motherboard is 12-volt 4-pin. Okay, so I held onto these fans for a bit trying to figure out how to make these work in here, and I found this solution from Deepcool. This is the Gamerstorm RGB converter. This is the 5-volt to 12-volt converter. It has several different ports on it and it works pretty much for any system. But I built this computer about 1.5 years ago. If you're interested in checking out the components or how this computer runs in Adobe Premiere, I'll link to that playlist here. So there are a couple different ways to hook these up, and I'll show you both ways that I figured out, and I'll show you the pros and cons of each. So this is the PC Cooler Corona fan. It is a 120mm fan. It has this RGB halo on both sides, and these are the cables that come with it. And the way you connect it is you power the fan through this 4-pin power cable here, and then you power the LEDs through this 3-pin cable here. So for actually powering the fan, you have a couple different options. You can either plug the 4-pin cable here right into your fan header right there, or it comes with the splitter and you just plug that in there, and then you can power all 3 fan motors from this splitter. And then you connect the splitter right in there. So we'll power the computer on, and there you go. Our fan is spinning. Next, we can connect the RGB header. Then for the RGB header here, it comes with this little splitter that would normally go into a 5-volt 3-pin motherboard, and then the other end goes into your fan. So here is method number 1, where we can actually still use the included 5-volt 3-pin RGB controller that comes with the fans on our 12-volt 4-pin motherboard, but with limited functions. We connect the RGB splitter cable to the PC Cooler controller, then connect the other end to Molex power. From Molex to this peripheral cable, it's a 6-pin cable that is made for the EVGA Supernova PSUs. And then the other end would go right into the PSU. Powering on. So here's the different modes with the controller. You have solid, breathing, and you can change the color of this as well. The next mode is color cycle. Then you have this little spiral where they chase each other on opposite ends. Then you have a faster spiral, kind of like a centipede almost. Next, you have this cool little color cycle where it goes out in a circle like this, and you can change the speed of this as well. And then there's this really cool one where it stacks up all the different LED colors. And then finally, the color cycle where it's spinning through the different rainbow colors here. So there is one option for using these 5-volt fans on your 12-volt motherboard. You can just use the included controller that comes with these PC Cooler fans and control them that way. Or you can gain more control and sync everything up by using an RGB Transfer Hub like in method number 2. Be sure to stick around to the end because we're going to be going into the app and you can actually see how everything's synced up in method number 2 using the RGB Hub. Alright, back into it. This is where the 5-volt to 12-volt RGB Transfer Hub comes into play. This is made by Deepcool. There you are, Deepcool Industries, and it is the Gamerstorm RGB converter. So here is the 5V to 12V transfer hub. It's a tiny little magnetic square that you can stick on the side of your power supply or the side of your case. On one side it has 5V connectors for ASUS, MSI, and Gigabyte, which it actually came with the cable for that as well. So if you need to connect that. On the other side it has the 4-pin 12V connectors for ASUS, MSI, and Gigabyte as well. And then on the top, this is for connecting your Deepcool fans. And then on the bottom here, this is how you power it through the included power cable. This is the power cable here. Just press it in and that's good to go. All right, so that's the power cable. Next, you'll connect this 12V 4-pin header into the header on your motherboard. And then this end is connected via 15-pin SATA cable here, which is a male end. So you'll need a female SATA connector there. All right, now let's see what this looks like at the computer. So first things first, we need to get this 12V 4-pin RGB header cable into the motherboard. Okay, so that is one half of this cable here. The other end requires SATA power. It's the 6-pin EVGA power supply cable that goes to 15-pin female connector here for this plug. So I'll connect that here in the PSU. All right, and then we connect this other end here. So back to the fan, you still have your 4-pin cable that is powering the fan itself. And we have our RGB splitter here. These are going into the different fans. So we take the 3-pin RGB cable from the fan and connect it into the hub. And now we've converted 5V to 12V for this RGB connection. All right, now let's do this at the computer. All right, then you take the other end of the splitter here and plug that right into the RGB header cable of your fan. And there we go. We're ready to power up the computer and test this out. This is the warning tag that's on the fan RGB cable, but we have our converter, so let's go ahead and power the computer on and test this out. All right, so at this point, I'm just gonna run the RGB splitter to all 3 fans, make sure everything's working before we install these to the case. All right, so the moment of truth. All right, so this is what it looks like with everything hooked up. Now we can dive into Aura Sync, and as you can see, now we have complete control over the fans, the motherboard, the RAM, and everything all synced up. So here is Comet. This is Flash and Dash, let's say in green. And as you can see, they actually do flash with the RAM and the motherboard and everything as well. They're all synced up. This is Color Cycle. So this is Wave, and I have it set to blue. And here is Glowing Yo-Yo, Starry Night. This is Strobing, and then this is Music. So I have a couple different modes on here that I can go through too. All right, so that was the first of many upgrades. So if you're interested in seeing what upgrades come next, be sure to subscribe and leave me a comment if you have questions about anything. Shoot for the stars, and I will see you in the next video.